It's an off-colored remark. It's highly inappropriate.
Haven't heard that my whole life, have I? Hi, folks. Welcome to the show. I hope you don't mind off-color remarks. That was my nickname, off-color remark.
There he goes, off-color
There he
remark.
Good name for a white rapper. Off-color OCR. Yeah. Jews in the hood. I'm nervous because I did Dave Smith's podcast. Libertarian, love him. Fucking smart as a whip. And he was nice enough to have me on his podcast that he streamed live at Skankfest. And, so I thanked everybody that asked me to go there, and I thanked him. I DM'd him on X, thank him for having me on the show, and I haven't heard back. I'm hoping he's just very busy and not going, oh, was that a mistake? When he wished cancer on Kamala, which I did, and I meant it. And if anybody has a problem with that, fuck you. My president got his face shot at, and those same people didn't even want to talk about it. And they still didn't really bring it up. And then his life was threatened again. So my words, all bets are off. I'll say anything the fuck I want. If you can shoot at my guy, and I know you idiots at home, well, not you idiots, you guys vote like me, but the people who don't would be watching this going, well, Kamala Harris and Biden didn't do that. Yeah, they did. They didn't do it themselves. They had their henchmen do it. And again, if something happens to Trump, they'll blame Iran because that's how they've set it up. I just don't happen to believe any of that shit. But anyways, Dave, call me. Hope I didn't say anything too coarse. Oh, for the love of God.
Mr. DiPaolo,
I
no
know,
one can be
Bob.
as nasty as you pretend to be unless they really wanted to be disliked.
Who says I'm pretending? Show's been very good this week. You know why? Because I was on the road. I felt like a comic again. Busy, fucking on stage. Doing sets I didn't have to do. I've never done that in my life. Well, when I was young, I did. These teeth are coming out tonight. You have pliers, right? Motherfucker.
Got hammer.
See, these are, had them knocked out, so I had some nice crowns put on. And the bottom ones, again, look like Jed Clampett after chewing skull for 60 years. Black teeth, Texas gold. Coffee, I'm not blaming the cigarettes because, honest to God, folks, I have one in the morning and one at night maybe, which most people can't do. I was a real smoker for about 6 months of my life. That was about it. And I'm the type of guy, they'll find a giant tumor because I've been wishing cancer on everybody I hate. You know I'm going to wake up with a giant goiter. There was a guy in my hometown, we called him Iron Mike, homeless guy, old gray beard, but he had a goiter on his neck the size of his head. A thing sticking out like this, like a heavy bag. And he would use it as a My Pillow built into his neck. I'm not kidding you. He'd be sleeping on a park bench.
He should have had a face tattooed on it.
Oh. Yes, he should have had Tyson's face tattooed on it. Iron Mike. Why were we calling him Iron Mike? That was before even Tyson, because I was a kid. Tyson wasn't even on the scene yet. I don't know. Somebody gave him that name. Anyways, if his life wasn't tragic enough, then he was in a homeless shelter in Beverly, Mass., which is right next to my town, where a lot of my relatives are. A homeless shelter, I think on Rantoul Street, which burned down, and him and a few other homeless guys died in a fire. And my first question, do you think that thing, when it got heated up, exploded? And the other guys thought it was a sprinkler system, so they stayed there? And then they're like, that's Crown Royal.
He was a camel, didn't know it.
Yeah, yeah, he could have had two. But he would use that fucker. Yes, I do find amusement in other people's pain, if that's what you're asking. That's how I deal with it. It's why I do what I fucking do. You know what I mean? And again, if somebody falls down in front of me and gets hurt bad, I'm going to laugh till I shit my pants. Whether I know them or not. I don't know if it was in my dad. It's a very fucking odd thing. Don Gavin goes, it's nothing funnier than seeing like your friends fall down. Well, maybe somebody catching on fire. That's even funnier. But all right, enough of the chit chat. Baseball, real quick. Braves, I know. I think I shut out, right?
No, we
you got one?
We limped into the wild card.
Right.
And we only gave up one last night to San Diego. Still two left.
You lost the first one last night, yes. The Mets beat up on Brewers. Mets really turned it on at the end of the season because they sucked big dick at the beginning. And who else? We got the Orioles lost.
KC.
Orioles beat KC, right? No, KC beat the and the Tigers beat Houston.
Yes, Tigers beat Astros and
I believe
Royals over Baltimore.
They did, right? See, those are two upsets. Are these wild card game? Yep. These are, right? Yep. Okay. It's only, it's a best of 3, so you can't fucking... It makes for good baseball. I loved it. It was a 1-0 game. The American League games are really pitchers, duels. Loved them. Everybody's hanging on every pitch. All right, let's get to the debates last night. Speaking of competition, which it really wasn't. As you know, J.D. Vance took on fucking Cub Scout molester. I'm just kidding. That was me joking around everybody. He doesn't like Cub Scouts. He's more of an Eagle Scout fellow. Again, kidding. Excuse me. That's from eating my dog's ass. Delicious, he said. Did you hear that? You got to lean into the mic on that.
No, but I liked whenever I had you on the phone on Monday, and all I heard you say is, "Stop wiping your ass on the rug." And then I hear Andy talking in the background.
Dallas goes, "Are you talking to Andy?" I go, "Yeah, I hit her with the newspaper twice." My little dog. What are they fucking? They motor across with their legs up. Like, I call it the pup on a wheelie. And they said to me, the dog specialist, get a spray bottle with water in it and squirt her in the face. And I found the Clorox works way better. They'll make you a sandwich after you do that. And the debate clips last night. Wah-la-la-la. Just to sum up quick, J.D. Vance mopped the floor with him. What he did, J.D. Vance, and I know this was his strategy. He's like, what don't they like about Trump during these debates? He's a little too aggressive, blah, blah, blah. And he just was so cordial and nice. And he was the antithesis of, I like Trump's personality. I'm just saying, for people who might be on the fence, I think this is what he was. He's so polished. So polished. And he hasn't been in government as long as this fuckstain. And he just ate him alive. He was so polished and like I said, never lost his temper or raised his voice, which people on the fence, a lot of people aren't voting for Trump just because of that. But if they saw him, they're not against what Trump's policies are, some of them. He did it beautifully and defended Trump's points of view beautifully. And this son of a bitch lied, as you'll see. Let's get right. Let's get to clip number 1. Is this when they shut the mics on him? Yeah. The first one? Yeah. They started fact-checking. They fact-checked Mr. Vance. Guess what? He wasn't fucking having it. Watch how he plays this, because this fucking jerk-off
Thank you, Governor. And just to clarify for our viewers, Springfield, Ohio does have a large number of Haitian migrants who have legal status.
Pause. Nobody asked you, number 1. He was just talking about illegals in fucking Springfield, Ohio. And they can't help themselves. This jerk-off woman, they can't help themselves. When libs are confronted with somebody who speaks the truth or just in plain English and not put some lib spin on it, they can't help themselves. They came out a couple days ago and said, we're not going to do what the ABC moderators did. And it's exactly what they did. They fact-checked him a couple times. And it was a big... Nobody asked her to pipe in. You're not supposed to fucking... Go ahead, J.D.
Temporary protected status.
Well, Margaret, but
thank you, Senator. We have so much to get to.
Margaret, I think
they put the C in CBS.
Economy. Thank
Margaret,
you.
the rules were that you guys weren't going to
we're-
fact check, and since you're fact checking me, I think it's important to say what's actually going on. So there's an application called the CBP One app, where you can go on as an illegal migrant, apply for asylum or apply for parole, and be granted legal status at the wave of a Kamala Harris open border wand. That is not a person coming in, applying for a green card and waiting for 10 years. That is the facilitation of illegal immigration, Margaret, by our own leadership.
Thank you, Senator, for describing the legal process. We have so much to get to, Senator.
Those laws have been on the books since 1990.
Thank you, gentlemen.
The
We
CBP
want to have...
One app has not been on the books.
Watch, Nora. She mutes him.
Gentlemen, the audience can't hear you because your mics are cut. We have so much we want to get to. Thank you for explaining.
Fuck you two.
Dude, the condescension.
Did you hear it? Thank you for explaining the legal. Let me tell you something, and this goes for, you know what's funny? You guys always try to pin Trump supporters and paint them with one brush as racist and every one of you, to the man, to the woman, to everything in between, you pompous, arrogant, know-it-all assholes who don't know shit and get nervous when something doesn't fit your fucking narrative. I would have women doing it all the time, the moderators, because they're so full of themselves, and he handled that beautifully. Now, if I was him, I would have jumped over the podium, got them both in a scissors lock, fucking dropped. I would have done ground and pound on both of them while I was biting their tits. Condescension. After being asked about the discrepancy on his claim he was in China, this is clip 2. We're talking about Walz during the Tiananmen Square massacre. Walz spent 2 minutes delivering a delicious word salad, croutons, blue cheese, the whole 9 yards around the question. Here is the follow-up to that non-answer.
Governor, just to follow up on that, the question was, can you explain the discrepancy?
All I said on this was I got there that summer and misspoke on this. So I will just, that's what I've said.
I think your brain is going soft.
So I was in Hong Kong and China during the democracy protests. And from that, I learned a lot of what needed to be in governance.
He misspoke. He said he was like in Tiananmen Square when it went down. He was in Hong Kong. By the way, if you don't know, that's not really China. I did comedy in Hong Kong. That's my proudest. I've been around this motherfucker. What a city. Have you been to Hong Kong? No? Dude, the skyline makes New York or Chicago look like Burlington, Vermont. It goes on forever. And they have escalators outside. Like when you want to fucking outside, if you're on a street, you want to go to the street above, you get on an escalator. And you could eat off the friggin' subways. They were so clean. I actually had broccoli and poodle right on the floor. I'll use that joke for a million years. And then on the next clip we have here, what is it? Which one? January 6th, Walz is talking about. So he's already lied about Tiananmen Square and just admitted it when you say you misspeak. You could tell he's ashamed. Look at him. Oh, I shit my pants. Here he is talking about January 6th, and let's go a whopper of a lie.
There's one, though, that this one is troubling to me, and I say that because I think we need to tell the story. Donald Trump refused to acknowledge this, and the fact is that I don't think we can be the frog in the pot and let the boiling water go up.
Ooh, did you just make that up?
He was very clear. I mean, he lost this election, and he said he didn't.
He didn't. He didn't. And I'll say it again. He didn't. People go, the laptop, the 51 guys that signed it said it was Russian disinformation. Zuckerberg throwing $500 million into the Philadelphia area and setting up voting booth. All that fucking horse shit. I'm forgetting about 4 other things. Oh, cardboard on the windows in Detroit. All of a sudden, Biden getting a spike in the middle of the night. Pennsylvania, the state legislature changing the laws on how you can vote and who can vote 2 weeks before the election. No, but the court said it was a bunch of, they didn't even look at it. The courts wouldn't even let the case in. So he didn't fucking lose it. And by the way, 10%, it was 10% of Democrats that if they knew about the laptop, that fucking lie, they would have voted the other way, which was enough to change in Georgia and one other state where it was like, the difference was like 5,000 votes. So you're full of shit there. But if you want to, I'll play along, you know. The million fucking other reasons. But listen to this fucking whopper.
Police officers were beaten at the Capitol that day. Some with the American flag. Several later died. And it wasn't just in that.
Pause. 140 cops were hurt. I didn't ever hear that. And by the way, not several cops died. One died of a heart attack like the next day or that night. And again, not from being beat or shit. That's been debunked. Fucking Tucker Carlson showed footage nobody else had from the cameras inside. Remember the guy, the Viking with a hat on, showing Capitol Police escorting him literally into the fucking chambers. So you're full of shit. This is the one that makes me the most nuts of all the lies out there, more than Russiagate. That fucking Trump lost that because a bunch of governors agreed to. Go ahead.
In Minnesota, a group gathered on the state capitol grounds in St. Paul and said, we're marching to the governor's residence and there may be casualties.
He said, march peacefully.
But what about all the casualties during BLM riots in your own state?
That's what I had exactly. I Gutfall's monologue. I said that. Oh, I guess you don't. I guess he's confusing it with the riots in his state, which he stopped way too late. You know that. Remember the riot with the cop kneeling that upstanding citizen's throat. So yeah, it was a fastball down the middle. I don't even know if JD pounced on that the way he should have. Now here are the closing remarks, and this is Timmy Walz.
Kamala Harris is bringing us a new way forward. She's bringing us a politics of joy.
Pause.
She's bringing...
Game over. Game over. Can you imagine looking into America's eyes at a time we're on the brink of World War III? Excuse me. Inflation, terrorists in this country don't know where they are, millions of violent illegals, and this fucker has the balls to look you in the eye and go, bringing us joy. That's what we're going to bring you. Just let that, what do you, fucking get a cooking show? Oh my God. The politics of joy. Why don't you stick a carrot right in my eye? Go ahead.
Real solutions for the middle class, and she's centering you at the heart of that.
We have the greatest...
Centering you at the heart of it by not doing an interview, doing 2 total in the last fucking 100 days. Is that how you do it? Honest to God, folks, I have a pit in my stomach that they're going to give this to her. Because the media is trying so hard. Every headline is they're tied, she's ahead. It's everything I expected. I have a pit in my fucking stomach that they're going to give this election to her, just like they did fucking Biden. And if that happens, I would be worried if I was Kamala Harris. And I don't want to say any more. I don't know what the reaction would be on the right. I'm hoping it is what I'm hoping it's going to be. Go ahead.
This country, the most beautiful country, the most incredible people anywhere in the world. But they're not going to be able to achieve their full dreams with the broken leadership that we have in Washington. And whether you vote for me or vote for Tim Walz, I just want to say I'm so proud to be doing this, and I'm rooting for you. God bless you, and good night.
Smoked him. Smoked him. So the consensus, by the way, at the end of that was that JD mopped the floor with them. Even CNN, all those I'm reading the papers today, they couldn't really say anything bad about JD. They actually said he was polished and blah, blah, blah. So Walz did not look good last night. Hey, anyways, this football season, ladies and gentlemen, stop being a baby, and play some bets on the game already with MyBookie. It couldn't be easier with promos like weekly risk-free boosts. Even if you've never bet on anything in your life, you can definitely handle this. I'm not good with this stuff, and it easy. With risk-free boosts, listen to this. With risk-free boosts, if your bet hits, you win big. If it doesn't, don't worry. MyBookie will give you a full refund. I love this time of the year because you want to be on MyBookie because I follow Georgia football now. I love all college football. Who doesn't bet on the NFL? Hockey is starting up. And this is where you want to be. If you're not a huge football fan, you can still get in on the fun. MyBookie has tons of games you can play, like blackjack and European roulette. How about that? When you're ready to get started, just click the link in the show notes, sign up, and you're ready to bet. Use promo code NickDip to claim a bonus that doubles your money on your very first deposit. You heard that right. Double your money with code NickDip before you even place a bet. MyBookie Plus is the lock of the century. Bet on anything, anywhere, anytime, and make your season a winning season. We thank them for sponsoring the show today. You guys watching right now on Mug Club, stick around for the second half of the show. The rest of you guys, you're not going to see it unless you go to nickdip.com, click, and sign up for Mug Club, and you'll get all of my show. You'll get Steven Crowder's full show, which is worth the whole price itself. Alex Jones comes in now and then. You got Brian Callen, and they got that undercover team that has broken 2 national stories already. So it's not just a regular podcast with people shitting on each other and joking around, which is fun too. I love that. But you get that in some actual news. Also, while you're at Nick Dip, click on the tour button. November 9th, Bridgeview Center Theater, Ottumwa, Iowa. Can't wait for that. Haven't been there. I don't know that I've ever done a gig in Iowa. I know I played football there for 4 years and blew my knee out. November 9th, Bridgeview Center Theater, Ottumwa, Iowa. And second half of the show, if you're going to stick around, I got a story about Israel. Hezbollah, as you know, showered them with rockets. And does Israel have a plan? I don't know why people, I don't know. Oh, whatever. And also some more trans news, this time in, I think it's college girls volleyball. And some women are upset because, you know, some of their opponents have giant peepees. I can't put it any nicer.
Hi, good night, everybody.